Hi Cancer, this is Ash Tarot with your May 2021 tarot card reading. So I have cleared our energy out already, ready to go, bringing in some positive energy for you for the month of May. This whole spring thing, newness, happiness, positive energy as usual. I will be using the Spirit Animal Oracle card deck that I always use to start out the reading. I have pulled one oracle card for you, and I'm also going to use the Crow Tarot deck that I introduced last month, and that I have pulled actually 11 cards for you. So we're going to start with your oracle card, and that is the Butterfly Spirit. So there's a lot of transformation going on with you in your life, or a need for transformation. So definitely, if you're not open for this transformation, start to open yourself up to new possibilities and ideas, and to realize that you deserve, that transformation. I think that you're learning and you're growing as a person. I think maybe before you were closed off to certain ideas, but I feel with the Butterfly Spirit, you're starting to open yourself up and realize that there's more out in life, and that maybe you're ready to go after it. I feel that energy definitely, because the Knight of Wands kind of popped itself out for you too. So I just feel like you are very ready for this transformation and to move forward. I think before, maybe you weren't putting a lot of energy or effort into any certain sort of direction for your life, and I feel like now you're ready to make decisions. But yeah, definitely you have been in this pessimistic sort of mindset as far as growth and moving forward, maybe feeling like you're not ready, maybe feeling like you can't handle growth or change in your life. I feel like you weren't really open to it. Maybe you just didn't feel ready, because here we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Sun here. So I do think that you're kind of getting in your own way of moving forward. Again, I know I said it's time for that transformation, it's time to move forward, and you're ready for it. I feel like maybe you are ready for a transformation, but maybe you don't know how to go about it, and maybe you're still a little bit closed off. So it's really important for you to open yourself up. If you don't know how to move forward with something, maybe ask people, maybe look it up and research it. Things don't happen by us just sitting around and expecting them to happen on their own. We do kind of have to do something to make certain things happen in our life. So I think that's an important thing here too, to kind of mention, because you want change, and I feel like you want change in this reading, but I also feel like you're really afraid of change. And maybe you've never really had to take on a lot of responsibility in your life and do a whole lot either. I don't mean that to be rude or anything. I don't mean it to come out like that, but I mean, like, maybe you've never really had to go this far or make these sort of changes. Maybe things have always been kind of easy for you, or maybe you've always kind of taken the easier route just because it's easier, and now it's time to make changes that make you feel uncomfortable, I guess I'll say. Maybe you feel a little uncomfortable with the changes, lacking confidence a little bit. Maybe you feel like, oh, am I going to be good at this? Can I do this? Definitely normal people feel that way all the time. I mean, some people walk around with confidence and not a worry, or care in the world, but most people, they want things, but they just don't know if they can have them, I guess I'll say. They don't know if they have what it takes to go and get to that point. And I think you're debating back and forth too on what the next part you want, like what the next stage was going to be, or the next decision to take in your life. Maybe debating back and forth, but not really taking action. Maybe researching and looking around, maybe thinking about it. What should I do next? Maybe talking to people, but I feel like you didn't really take action, because I do feel like you still kind of lack confidence and were a little bit nervous in making a decision to move in a certain direction. Maybe some of you too are finally making that decision to move forward in a certain direction too, because we have the Five of Swords in here reversed. So maybe you're just tired and not wanting to fight. So maybe if someone's pushing you to do something, maybe you're saying, fine, I'm just going to do it so that they're off my back. For some of you too, it may be moving in a direction to, this is to avoid conflict, but it could also be maybe to avoid, problems too. Not necessarily just fighting, but any sort of conflict, I guess. Maybe you feel like, okay, I don't want things to keep being the way that they've been. It is time for me to move forward with something. I do feel like good news and good opportunity is coming towards you, though, too. You have this Page of Wands here, so this is good news or an opportunity or a good idea, something that's going to get you somewhere. This is something. So if this comes to you and you feel this energy, this really awesome idea, get that idea out there, you know. If it's an invention, if it's an idea, if someone gives you an opportunity, it's a job, you know, move towards it, because I feel like this is definitely positive. Now, if you do move towards it, or if you don't, whatever you're choosing here, I do feel like no matter what, this is going to be new for you. It's going to be a balancing act, maybe in between your social life and everything too, because you do have the Ten of Wands here, so it might feel a little bit like a burden on your back, a little stressful, a little bit more than you're used to taking on, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. For us to grow and to be successful, sometimes we do have to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and sometimes we do have to face some stress. It's one thing if it's, you know, stress that never ends and it just makes you feel miserable forever, you know. That's not healthy, but for you to feel a little bit of stress while you're adjusting into a new position in your life, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I definitely think it's a balancing thing, because maybe an example I could say is if you've never had a job before and now you're going to have a job, and you have to balance out time with your family, time with your friends, you know, and that social life, but also working. If you've never gone to college before and you're deciding to go to college, you know, and you have to add that onto your plate along with working and everything, it's that balancing thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. This is moving in a direction of beautiful transformation that's positive, and a lot of growth is, you know, available here for you. But I don't think it's going to come so easy. And that doesn't mean just because it's not easy, you know, to run away. Again, I definitely feel like in the past, you have this energy of not putting a lot of time and effort into something, like you weren't really doing anything. I think you're just kind of, like, maybe even if you were working, I'm not saying that you just sat home and you didn't have a job, but if you weren't working, like an example is because of COVID, you know, last year, if you were home a lot, you know, because you got laid off or something, now you're going back into the workforce. Or if you know, were in high school, you know, now you're going out and going to college, or getting a job, you know, or starting, if you had a certain job you had forever, but now you're starting a new profession. This is you just kind of not having a lot going on here. You're not transforming or growing much, you know, you're just kind of staying kind of stagnant here in the past, but you are now finally moving forward. It's definitely a time to take action for you here. You have the Ace of Swords showing up. So you're going to make a decision. You're going to take action on something. And I do think this is good. But again, there's going to be that balance here. Or the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, a balance. For some of you, it might be, you may not be making as much money as you're used to. So it might be finding that balance until you get into the flow of things. It might be something a little bit more risky than you're used to, whatever that is. But there's some sort of need to find balance. Again, not a bad thing. I think in the past, just you didn't make changes. You kind of just stayed in one, you know, pace, one area of your life. There wasn't a lot of change or improvements going on. And now it's finally time. Either someone is forcing you to do it, or a situation is forcing you to do it, or you're forcing yourself to do it. It's just time for change, time for growth. You just know it, but you're nervous about it, and you're everything. And you just don't know how it's going to play out. I do think you're going to grow a lot. You're going to gain a lot of experience in this time. You do need to learn how to balance things out. Be careful with spending, you know, balance time out with family and friends. Realize it's not going to be a piece of cake in the beginning. It's going to be a change, because it is a change. But you're going to transform. You're going to grow. You're going to gain experience. I think this is going to be very positive for you, Cancer. So stick with it and keep moving forward. I will see you in your June reading. Yes, your June reading.